Welcome to this week's program. We have great guests for you lined up. I can't believe all the great advice we've been getting from everyone. Just stick around. I hope you get something great from it. Right now, we're about to go in and talk to Dan Six. Dan is in charge of the drone meetup group here in El Paso, and they've shown a remarkable way of showing leadership in the community. It's a perfect example of how three ordinary guys could get together and just cause great things. These guys got together for their hobby, and all of a sudden we have international attention on our city. This is the kind of things that we should all be looking forward to push. This is exactly what El Paso needs. Stick around, guys. We have a great show lined up for you today. Hope you like it.
My name is Carlos Marquez. I've been flying drones since April of last year.
And my name is Dan Six. I've been flying drones for approximately 5 years.
My name is Mike. I've been flying drones for about 4 years.
We met up with a group called the Meetup Group. It was originally called the El Paso Drone Flyers Meetup Group, and we just recently changed that name to the El Paso Drone Hive. And the rest is history. We went flying that day and we got along like brothers, and it was just a lot of fun. We all learned from each other, and that's what started it.
We really gear it towards educational and informational. We set aside about 15 minutes each time that we meet up. Just kind of go over safety. We discuss, if in case there's an emergency, and then Dan will cover a topic regarding FAA, rules and regulations. And that's what we're trying to do, is just educate the community and trying to make sure that people are flying out there within the rules.
So with the search and rescue team, we wanted to basically educate them on the functionalities of drones and how they can implement them into their search and rescue missions, because drones can help a lot with the work that they do.
What's going on with this event coming up?
This is probably one of the biggest events that's going to hit El Paso. It's called the International Drone Day. It's 5 years old. This is their 5th anniversary. Their first International Drone Day was in Las Vegas, Nevada. I went to the second one. I kept thinking to myself, I could do this. I could sponsor one of these events. I had no clue how to do it. I asked Carlos if he thought he knew what to do. No. So I emailed David and Sarah O'Neill, that are the head of the drone show, about how do we get started. Well, nobody got back to me for 5 months. But Chris Robinson is another one of our group. Him and I were on my Twitter page at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we worked till 5 o'clock, changing this whole Twitter page around. As soon as we named it a different name and geared it toward the International Drone Show, it was like a floodgate opened. And Sarah and David, they started emailing me back what we did, and they literally said we were the prime candidate for this International Drone Show. There's over 400 teams in the United States. 150 countries hold us the same time, same day. We are the featured drone team here in El Paso. They are actually pushing us. They're sponsoring us.
Beautiful. And Dan, if somebody wants to get involved, maybe not necessarily get their license, they just want to be a hobbyist, are they welcome on the group?
Hey, this is free to the public. I mean, this is all designed to educate the public. We want to open up this whole scenario. Drones are used for data collection, agriculture, mountain rescue, search and rescue that we worked with yesterday at Red Sands with the search and rescue patrol. It has opened up a whole new concept, and we are in our infancy right now.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they reach you?
They can reach us on the El Paso drones, or they can go to the Drone Hive and they can sign up on our meetup group, which there's absolutely no cost whatsoever.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's a pleasure being with you.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
Oscar, how are you?
How's it going, sir? Oscar Ugarte.
I'm doing well. Oscar, tell us a little bit about you. I know you're our county's constable. Tell us a little bit about how you got here and the leadership skills, the community involvement that it took for you to get to this point.
First of all, I'm born and raised here in El Paso, Texas. I went to Isleta High School. I did a small stint with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Then I went to work with Socorro Police Department, and then I joined the county in 2007 as a court bailiff. From there, I transferred over to the constable's office, and in 2016, I ran and won for office. So I'm currently the elected constable for the West Side Constable's Office Precinct 1. As far as the Constable's Office, what we do here for the county, our main duties is civil process and warrants. And we also do some traffic enforcement as well, and any other crime that is committed within our presence.
So if you could suggest something to our audience in regards to practical little things they could do to raise their quality of life, is there anything you could suggest that they could do to get themselves out of that rut?
From my personal experience is education. Never give up. It took me about 10 years to get my bachelor's degree because of the work schedule. Being in law enforcement, you work mornings, days, evenings, and you're always switching schedules. But never give up in your education. Education will open a lot of doors. Here in El Paso, we do have a lot of colleges, that work with your schedule, and that definitely will help you, succeed. Because education, they can take everything away, but nobody can take away your education.
And so we know that you're very much involved with the community. I got to work with you a little bit on your campaign. Tell me a little bit about how those who want to serve the community, not necessarily as a job, but simply give back to the community, what do you suggest they start out doing?
There's a lot of programs where you can actually volunteer. If you want to get to know how the county works, there's actually internships, or here in the Constable's Office, we offer ride-along programs. So we invite our citizens to ride along with a deputy from our office so they can see what we actually do, and they can experience firsthand the problems that the community is having. When citizens do ride-alongs, we'll roll up on accidents or on simple assaults, and they actually see what's going on firsthand and get to experience those kind of problems that our city is facing.
What do you suggest is the city's biggest problem that ought to be addressed?
Me personally here in my office, I see with the West Side construction is a lot of accidents. So I would advise the community to be vigilant, be patient. There's a lot of construction going on the west side of town, and sometimes people are in a hurry and are not patient, which causes more traffic congestion with the accidents they cause. So I would advise the citizens to please be patient. In the near future, they will benefit from all this construction and have better roads for El Paso.
Oscar, thank you so much for your time. Any last words you want to give our audience?
When you're out there in the community, the eyes for law enforcement is the community. So if you see something, please report it. You can call the Constable's Office here at 915-534-3917 for non-emergency situations that you want to make us aware of. And if it's an emergency, always dial 911. Law enforcement, we rely a lot on the community to help us, and the community is our eyes.
Oscar, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I hope we're able to come back and talk to you again in the near future.
Yes, sir, definitely. You're welcome to come and join us and do it right along with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Zumbini with Michelle, the best bonding experience inside Meneos Dance Academy, 1035 Belvedere Street, 100.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps.
2, 3, 4.
Or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making a connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
Alright guys, we have now made our way down to LAT Studios with Tony Aleman. Tony's got a great program that's about to be launched. He is promoting local talent, taking them out, getting them contracts out in California, different marketing areas for the modeling industry. He's doing great things for our community. Check out what he's got to say.
Hey El Paso, my name is Tony Aleman. I'm the director of LAT Studio in El Paso, Texas, and we're also the producers of Model Material. It's a reality show that's been going on for quite some time already. 2010, we premiered our season 1, and we're now up to season number 5. And it's about approximately every 2 years that we produce this. It comes out on the CW where you're watching right now. And we're actually hosting our first preliminary casting today. 12 o'clock, LAT Studio right here on the east side. We have a west side, but it's going to be on the east side, 11500 Pelicano. And we're looking for 15 cast members that are going to be part of this year's and this season. And so we're looking for girls 15 to 25 years old. Girls that are looking, to get into the industry, no modeling experience whatsoever necessary. But we're looking for charisma, we're looking for drive, we're looking for commitment. Girls that are totally willing to give up a little bit of the free time to be part of this production. It's a production that takes about 6 months. And so you're looking at about 3 months of pre-production, producing intros, outros, commercials, billboards, posters, individual bios, videos, all kinds of production. And then we get ready to premiere our first episode. And as we move forward, we get 8 episodes done. And so it's quite a ride, quite a journey, experience of your lifetime, to be honest with you. You'll have some of the former contestants here today at LAT at our casting. And so they'll be judging as well. They'll be looking and helping us look for those 15 girls. Once again, 15 to 25. In prior years, prior seasons, we have made some exceptions of girls 27, 29 years old actually, as long as they have the physique and they have a particular genuine look that can certainly add to the show. And so this is a reality show that's pretty much taking the girls through a progress. Every episode is in a different episode with the casting. So every casting is a different customer, and you have the opportunity to be part of their final product, whether it be print ad campaign or a commercial campaign. So it's an amazing experience. If you guys have ever thought about being on TV, then this is your time. Come to LAT Studio, 11500 Pelicano. We start at 12 p.m.
So Glow Tanning is a tanning, sportswear, and bathing suit boutique. We have a lot of different styles. We have some that are one piece if you're looking for a little more coverage. We also have a lot of the neon colors, high-waisted as well, and cheeky. We have bathing suits that have underwire if you're looking for a little bit more support. And we also have high-waisted two-piece as well. A lot of the high-waisted bikinis are in right now. I would say it's the latest trend along with the neon color. So after you come in to grab your spring break essentials such as your bathing suits, sunglasses, and cover-ups, you can also get one of our great spray tans which run $25. Also keep up with our monthly specials by following us on Instagram at glowtanning_915 and also searching us on Facebook at Glow Tanning and Boutique.
Visit Glow & Tanning Boutique for your highest experience in luxury tanning and the latest technology in town. Glow Tanning and Boutique, 2106 Zaragoza.
Alright guys, welcome back to the show. We have made our way down to El Paso Kung Fu with Paul Shorter. Paul, how are you, brother?
I'm doing really good.
Paul is a meditation teacher, and I'm sure there's so much that we could draw from him and get a little bit of advice, practical tips that we could all do that'll start changing our lives towards that quality that we're all seeking. Paul, when it comes down to facing life and getting that mentality to change, even though we all get stuck in some sort of routine, where do you advise we begin?
Well, I would say one of the reasons why meditation is so popular today, especially in our day and age, is because people are learning the value of taking a moment to allow the mind to kind of settle.
Right.
And there can be a lot of religious connotations to that, but you don't have to have any specific religious connotation or belief to find value in mindfulness practice or meditation practice, which is kind of what I teach people that are interested. And what it is it's an opportunity to kind of let the mind settle, giving your mind some time to kind of self-regulate and self-purify itself so that you can live more present in the moment. And that's really what it's about.
And so I was talking to my daughter about meditation, and I've heard this from so many people, but her response was, I can't turn off my mind. And that seems to appear to be a misconception.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. That's a great question. There is a misconception about meditation in that we're trying to shut off our mind, which is absolutely impossible to do. Meditation is about observing the mind no matter what it's doing. So it's not any kind of regulation. You're not trying to make the mind do a certain thing or feel peaceful or feel wonderful. As a matter of fact, sometimes you'll feel really horrible because you're seeing what the mind is doing. But in time, through just observing it and not trying to stop it, not trying to start it, not trying to self-regulate it, it's kind of like a bucket of water or you think of a gallon jug of water and dirt that's being shaken constantly. If you set it on the table, after a while the water will settle, and then after a little while after that, the dirt will slowly start to settle to the bottom. And what's left is that clear, pristine water that's not kind of clouded with all those thoughts. And so in meditation practice, we're sitting and observing what's happening in the mind so that eventually, it will start to settle. And what's left is that kind of peaceful, centered, available quality that's very native to the mind. The mind actually is that way when it's not being constantly used in the world, and we need the mind for that. We need the mind to be thinking. We don't want it to stop thinking. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is get to that settled place and touch our prior condition of the mind before it has thoughts. And so we get a chance to see that in calm abiding or any kind of meditation in which we're just kind of focusing and centering on the breath. But don't try to stop thinking. That's not the purpose.
Right. So for somebody who doesn't do this at all, where do you suggest they begin? Is there any practice they should do? You mentioned counting.
Yes.
Is there a specific style of counting, or for how long?
That's a great question. So, there's some really good apps that they can get and download on their phones that are free. One of them is called Headspace, that takes you step by step through the process. And Headspace kind of instructs a person on how to start a meditation practice, what to look for, what to look out for, the pitfalls. There's also Insight Timer, which is a little app that they can get on their phone where they can just measure the time that they're going to meditate. It has a little bell on it. I would recommend that they find a space in their home that's kind of maybe a little bit private, a time during the day where they won't be interrupted. Maybe spend 10 minutes at first, which is probably sufficient. 10 minutes a day is enough. Just do a little bit every day and just set that timer or go through that app, Headspace. There's another one called Waking Up by Sam Harris. It's pretty good. But find something like that that can help coach them, and then set aside some time every day that they're just going to set that timer for 10 minutes, turn the phone off, put it on airplane mode, set it for 10 minutes, and literally just sit there and don't expect any specific kind of result. It's kind of like going to the gym. So when you first do it, the mind's gonna say, what am I doing here? This is boring, or is this really working? Or when is my mind gonna stop? When am I gonna get enlightened? All these things. Just sit there consistently. And just like going to the gym, after maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you get out of the shower and you look and you go, oh, it's starting to work a little bit.
Where'd that come from?
Exactly. So what'll happen is if they spend that time within maybe 3 or 4 weeks or however long it takes, they'll notice little differences in their daily life, that their mind is a little bit more centered and unperturbed by what happens. In other words, they'll stop minding so much what happens. They won't get pulled so heavily into stress or reactivity. There's a pause before. So usually the way the mind works is there's stimulus and then there's just some reaction, right? So stimulus, reaction. Someone cuts you off on the freeway, then there's a reaction. You yell at them or whatever. But when you spend this time just sitting and observing the breath for maybe 10 minutes a day, then there will be a stimulus. The same things will happen. Those won't change, right? You get cut off, you'll feel a space in the mind. And instead of reacting, you have a chance to respond, meaning that you can choose your proper response versus reacting. And that is a huge, huge difference. It's very subtle, but it's a life-changing difference.
2 questions. We're almost out of time here.
No problem.
First of all, What you're telling me, if I'm understanding correctly, is that this is more of a physiological process and not so much something mystical where we have candles and incense. None of that's needed.
Yeah, no, not at all. Now, if a person has that particular lean, that's fine too. I mean, they can use it to enhance their mystical practice, or they're involved in a religion, right? But you can also use it as, you're exactly correct, a purely physiological exercise that kind of syncs the mind-body connection. You know, we're finding more now that there's a huge connection between the two.
And you mentioned being able to respond and not so much react. Do you believe this is a measure of how we're doing in our meditation lifestyle?
I think it's more of a result. I think
measure of our results?
Absolutely. You can start to see those measured results. Although a lot of teachers will say, you know, don't look for specific results. However, come on, it's going to happen, right? So, but yeah, you can start to see that happen, but let it come as a surprise. Because if you try to look for it specifically, you might not know what to look for at first, and you might give up and say, oh, this isn't working. Rather than doing that, you got to kind of trust the process for a bit. Do it, even if you don't know what's going on at first, and let it surprise you. One day something is going to surprise you, and you'll go, okay, I was in my right mind here. And you'll notice that subtly. So
thank you so much, Paul. If anybody wants to get a hold of you, learn a little bit more about it, how do they do so?
They can contact us here, and I can direct them. My number is 915-203-4238. You can call me or text me. Also, El Paso Kung Fu on the web through the Facebook. Also, we have elpasosansu.com. You can put your name and email and phone number there, and we can get back to you.
Paul, I hope we do it again.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
now we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for staying. So this is my third show that I'm able to produce, and something's caught my attention. It doesn't matter who we speak with, no matter what their economic status is, what their social status is, or even their age. All these people that have been able to achieve something in their life have a common denominator. And that is that all of them are speaking about having control over your thoughts, dominance over your emotion. This is a key to our success. This is what's going to trigger our dreams to be fulfilled. Now, what I'm trying to achieve with this program is for all of us to be able to hear those messages from all different trends of life, from all different voices, to be able to perceive what it is that those hidden mysteries of success are. It seems to me that everything is ruled by universal laws. You do good, you get good. You do business wanting everybody to succeed. You win in life by wanting others to win with you. And when you play by these rules, when you apply your life by these rules, then you're able to start getting measurable results in your success, in your life. Now remember, success, it has nothing to do with a bank account. It has nothing to do with an economic or a social status. Success is having a definite goal and every day taking a step towards it. So long as we're taking a step forward towards our definite goal, we are being successful. So what does it mean to have a definite goal? This is important for us because it's not the same as an ordinary goal. We could have many goals, but unless we decide this is what we're going to work towards, we could visualize ourselves in that position already. We could feel the way we know we will feel once we achieve that goal. And we've broken it down by steps. We've written it down. We've created a plan of how we're going to get there. Then we have a definite goal. This is very different than wanting something and saying, someday. This is actually going and taking matters into your hand, bringing that plan into your subconscious and allowing yourself to align yourself by those universal rules so that you're able to continue to work towards it and at the same time have those universal rules respond to you in such a way that it manifests those desired goals. That, my friends, is a definite goal. Again, we aren't perfect, but we are perfectible.